Back to City Heroes, folks. And once again, it's David Chronostasis Alexander joined by
JD.
And we're back into...
Make some bands.
This is...
E-Domination versus Penta Outreach.
Right, we just saw E-Domination play the previous game. Hopefully they're going to have a little bit of a more clear goal this time around.
Interesting bands coming out. We see a Janna band finally.
Yeah. Janna, Twisted Fate, LeBlanc, Kog'Maw. Kog'Maw is not a surprise.
LeBlanc is kind of surprising to me because she really needs to get ahead to keep relevant.
LeBlanc would be a targeted pick if anything. If not, it's...
very out of the ordinary.
Yeah, it has to be a targeted pick. There's very little reason why you would ban it specifically because there are plenty of more common picks in the mid lane. And if your champion has a bad matchup, it's likely not LeBlanc.
Yeah, for sure.
We have Soraka getting banned out.
Not too much of a surprise there either. Soraka, been very troublesome. She's either really strong or really weak the past few seasons. This season, she's come out really strong with the Grievous Mood changes. It doesn't surprise me at all that she's seeing bans now.
Yeah, Soraka and Kog'Maw bans are pretty in line with the meta. They have 2 seconds for this last ban. I don't know what they're... Okay, so it's going to be Zed.
That may be a targeted ban too.
That one is not as surprising to me, given the Duskblade.
Yeah.
Fiora, though, picked up as the first pick.
Very strong pick. Really enjoying Fiora in this current meta. She's really, really strong against tanks, and she brings a lot of damage to the field and a lot of ability. That heal on her ult is really beneficial. If you can pull that off in the middle of a team fight, you can pump your team full of health and keep in the fight.
She is a safe first pick. Like, she fits into many team comps, and as a first pick...
And there's not too many hard counters for her either, huh? There's soft counters, but there's not much that really stops her. She has Paris to stop CC, she has a dash, the gap close, she has a slow and sure crit. Like, she's really got a strong hit.
She has decent lanes. She doesn't have too many lanes that are absolutely horrible 9-1 lanes for her.
Mind you, Trundle she struggles a bit with. If Trundle is the pick that goes through, he could really hurt her when he steals that AD.
We have Trundle. And Gragas coming out. Trundle can go many places, so can Gragas, but Gragas likely going to be in the jungle. Trundle, we've seen Trundle support in the LCS, which by the way you shouldn't be watching right now, thank you. And yeah, I've also seen Trundle jungle in top lane as well. But we'll see how the rest of that team comp shapes out. But I love just seeing 2 fat dudes right at the start. It makes me feel so safe if I'm playing mid lane or AD carry, I feel so good when...
Draven and Braum, that's interesting.
Bot lane locked in.
A lot of heavy AD to initiate. If Draven gets ahead, man, the spinning axis really hurt.
We saw
Poppy.
We saw the blue team take Braum last game. Their bot lane is going to have to work on communication together if they're going to want to pull off good 2v2 lanes. It really felt like they were not like going for the same goals or talking very much. It seemed like they had different ideas about what to do, even in microplay.
Hopefully there's more communication. Malphite actually is pretty good against Fiora. He's got that slow on his E for attack speed can be really effective, but he has to be really right. But he's a really strong contender against Fiora.
Yeah, Malphite, always a strong pick. This meta, or this patch anyway.
A lot of AoE on Penta Outreach. You have to be careful that Gragas and Malphite are on the same page. The worst thing that could happen is Malphite goes in for a mass ult and Gragas knocks them all aside.
So it looks like it's going to be Trundle support after all, I think. I think it's going to be, I like the Caitlyn pick into the Braum Draven. Caitlyn is more or less, she's not put up much threat with Braum in her lane. It's not a huge threat for her. If it does become a threat, Trundle is very good at disengaging and is also very good for a long-ranged attack, auto-attack based AD carry like Caitlyn to skirt around and take her time and auto-attack with that pillar slowing everybody down. So that looks like a really good answer, in my opinion, to the blue team's ball lane.
We're seeing an Italy pick perhaps a little bit of incentive from the previous game that was just played.
I don't think so. That's Nocturne jungle. We haven't seen a lane Italy in a long time.
She's very weak up on lane now. She's unless played really well, she's really now been funneled into that jungle role.
Not many good matchups for her. Yeah, she gets pushed in. But yeah, so we do have Ahri being locked in instead. Nocturne being locked in for Flarehood. Um,
Got a lot of CC or peel on a blue
you know
team
what's
side.
great? None of the teams actually used any of their trades. I really like that. It's like
Feels
they
like
didn't decide to hide anything,
It's
really.
it's really like solo queue.
But if you thought yeah, the purple team's bot lane actually, like Caitlyn Trundle is or Caitlyn anyway, is particularly a good pick into this bot lane. So I'm wondering, the purple team maybe just didn't have to.
yeah, it seems like there was quite a few counter picks. Ari getting Victor. You have Malphite picked after Fiora. You have Draven and Braum picked before. The only pick that was really first pick that really didn't even have to shift either was that support Trundle.
I'm not very familiar with the Ari and Victor matchup. It looked like, just the way I understand it, it seems like a even lane, a 5-5 lane.
Yeah, it's
so-
pretty even from what I've seen.
Yeah.
My experiences of seeing middle lane fights. It's really like a depends on positioning kind of thing. It's actually a skilled matchup. Like either or could come out victorious, and it depends how the lane is played and how the junglers decide to come in. But I'm really interested in seeing this Nocturne. Nocturne is one of my favorite champions. I don't play him much, but when I do, I always have a blast with him. That the denial of vision could be a really big changer.
I wonder how they're going to deal with the Caitlyn. What are they going to do to get to the backline of Caitlyn? They're
think
going to
that'll
have
be
to
Nocturne's
use. Yeah, the thing is, look at the tremendous amount of peel. They actually have so many ways of keeping her safe. What is going to be Blue Team's strategy to make sure Caitlyn is not as effective as she should be, or just take her out of
The
the
way I
team
see it is
completely?
either a Braum knockup to a Nocturne ult or getting a pick with a Charm, which will be quite difficult if she positions well.
To successfully do that, yeah, we'll see how they accomplish that, because I think with Purple Team's comp, they stick together and they play for their AD carry, because that's what the comp kind of looks like right now. It'll be quite a task, but we'll see how Blue Team does in just a minute. We'll be back with you guys soon. back. I think this is it.
Yep. Just waiting for the gates to open.
There you go. Welcome back, folks. We are in game with Penta Outrage.
And E-Domination.
E-Domination on the other side, the blue side. We're going to see what the level 1 is going to look like. And red team cleaning out some ward locations. Right off the bat, the entrance
Scaring the duck.
and the red rush. Raven and Braum chilling by the tower.
Really strong duo bot lane, actually. Draven
Yeah,
and Braum. If he
they're
gets that-
getting a free invade here because nobody's watching anything. So they did go ahead and plant a free ward there. We got free vision and blue team does see it. They pinned it out. Not a big deal in the end. Malphite starting corrupting potion. I like that.
Pretty strong Malphite, actually, with that harass. A little bit of extra damage over time.
I don't know what that means. Does that mean that is that a sustain tool or is that a tool to cheese somebody out of a level 1 duel? Because his W stat increase is surprisingly strong. I wonder what that is for. Gonna have though Caitlyn and Trundle helping out their jungle with the first camp.
Gragas is a
and-
really good pick now with that AoE back on his W.
This is refreshing to see in this tournament. Actually, we have finally somebody taking advantage of the fact that the enemy jungle started blue side, the same side as their bot lane. So now there is hopefully going to be a small advantage for blue team, but they might have not done it fast enough. No, they didn't. I don't think they did the Krogs fast enough there. You can tell because they seem to have missed their wave. That's not good. You want to definitely do Krugs as fast as possible, and if you know that you don't have the damage for it, definitely try that out in a custom game beforehand.
What's your opinion on Gragas now that he's got his W, now does AoE? Do you think he's back in the meta, or do you
Was that
think...
change put in?
I believe so.
I don't know if that change is put in, but if it was, I mean, it helps his jungle clear. It just sort of makes him a little bit relevant again, because Gragas' issue is that he had a little bit of trouble clearing after starting to build his tank items. Once Runic Echo was done, that's about as good as his clear is going to get, and monsters only get stronger. Here we see the Corrupting Potion, though. What was I telling you? Level 2, you got the Malphite out-trading a
trades.
Fiora, a duelist champion. So,
Seems like she found a worthy opponent.
yeah, man, Corrupting Potion makes a worthy opponent out of anybody, level 1 and 2.
And it provides that sustain to stay in lane too, which is great.
Yeah, a really nice level 1 item, but you have to use it properly, and Malphite uses it properly. Ouch! Flashes, but First Blood
Gets
still goes
squashed
down
like a
to Penta Outrage. The reason why that happened is because Gragas' W is actually a cast on hit. It's a cast basic attack. And once a cast is started, you can't finish it no matter
Yeah,
how
how
far
hard
you
you try
flash
to
away.
dodge it.
Yeah, it's like a Darius ultimate. You can flash it, it's still gonna hit you. Unless you lose vision of them. Or if they lose vision of you, rather. So, that's a flashless, teleportless Fiora. And a level 4 Malphite. That's gonna be hard.
Gonna have to play very carefully now in lane. She's got to respect the Malphites.
Bot lane, going as one would expect. I mean, Caitlyn's very safe in this lane, right?
You see a ward being placed by Trundle at the red buff to gauge what's going on.
I like the self-directedness of Penta Outrage. They're moving to the enemy's side of the map much more often and much faster than the other team is. The other team is not taking opportunity to really do anything, actually, for vision right now. There's actually no ward
And they're
for
gonna
blue
know-
team, except for Fiora's.
That beautiful ward placement. Now they know exactly where Nocturne is at the jungle. They
they're,
know his
they're,
level.
they're
They
pinning
know
him out. Yep, they're pinning him out. So, but what can they do in response to this? Gragas is kind of far, so not much. They just kind of track where he is and what that means. Malphite probably not worried about Fiora right now in this 1v1.
Nice step back. Interesting parry there. Seems like Malphite was patient and waited out for that moment
Yeah.
just to strike, and it's really paid off with that trade. He won the trade back.
Yeah, that was really well played by him. It's difficult, I mean...
Parry's-
yeah, it's difficult to outplay, but given the stat advantage he's going to have pretty soon with the extra gold, Yeah, he didn't really gain a level advantage because of the teleport there, but should be a relatively safe lane for him. Mid lane gank coming in, Gragas coming up from the side, but Ares sees
Nice
it. Oh, the
flashy.
flash E! But Victor's W was too late. A little bit of a misstep in communication there. I think Victor's W should have come out earlier, or he should have been walking up faster.
Very good flashy. That's a really strong tool if you know how to use it, and it can
Yeah,
catch somebody
but
completely off guard.
Unfortunately, they weren't able to capitalize off of it. This is exactly what I mean. As soon as Draven tries to trade with Caitlyn,
Trundle just steps in.
The thing Braum wants to do is start basic attacking the support or basic attacking Caitlyn, but when you put a giant wall in between you and their target, you can't auto-attack him so easily, so that's why it's such a good disengage tool against Braum, who's melee. Has a hard time getting to enemies.
Gragas pinging, he's on his way down bot.
Oh, nice pillar coming up. It's going to just do the right amount of slow. He's going to bite for a little bit more
Planting
slow.
the traps, making them have to walk around.
The E is not going to hit anything, unfortunately. Good pressure from Gragas, but not hitting anything right now. It's nice to hit those flash E's, but you got to do something.
What do you think he has to do to get into lane better? Is there anything you could comment?
He's doing fine. It's really the setup. I mean, that last E was just a very small mechanical mistake from him, but the last gank in mid lane, he needed to be on the same page with his Victor. His Victor needed to lay down the CC so that it chained together at the same time, so that there was a fluidity of CC in between them.
Bomb's gonna watch for those traps.
Yeah.
He may be a big man with
Right
a
now,
big heart,
though,
but it really hurts you.
Let's look at
Disrupting the recall.
nice.
If they really want to recall, they have to keep back from Trundle, because Trundle can keep doing that and just keep disrupting them.
What's really scary though is I think mid lane and bottom lane ganks are very possible for level 6 Nocturnes. Nocturne right now though, getting pinged out, and Malphite has ultimate. Nocturne's level 5.
He gets
has
spell
to,
shield if
yeah,
it
he has to
comes
flash. He's gonna definitely have to flash,
Didn't spell
and
shield.
he's not. That's gonna be a double kill or 2 kills coming out for Penta Outrage, Malphite, and Victor picking up those kills.
Nocturne going with the Devour build, very strong if you could get an early Devour. Quinzus and Blade Working on Nocturne or Yumu's, he really shreds through a tank even.
Now he's gonna have some difficulty now because he's put far behind.
Yep.
He was just killed, and where is
gotta get
Gragas at? Gragas is not level 6 yet, so it's
He's going to
alright.
his blue.
Yeah, the amount of time Gragas failed in ganks is basically the amount of time that Nocturne's death will count for, so
It's about even.
yeah, he's not losing against the jungler, but he's not adding pressure at the same time, which is something Gragas is doing. Putting the fear in the heart of those side lanes. And
Very
mid
good
lane,
map
actually.
pressure
He's ganked every lane, actually, so. Let's just see. Oh no. We'll find him soon. We do have Fiora coming in from the backside here. Is going to try and gank Victor. Nice no CC applied to her during that time, so nothing more
Nocturne
than
level
slow.
6 now has the potency to gank. Gragas level 6, they have about the same amount of XP. Maybe Nocturne has a little bit of a lead, but nothing that's important.
Let's see what objective these teams go for. I feel like they are playing the lane and gank game well. They should just extend this early game so that they get a good stat advantage, and I mean golden XP advantage. Because that's what's building up right now. I mean, look at the top lane, it's exactly what's happening. He's walking back right now, but make no mistake, that's really just so he can out-trade her with the minions. Right. Nocturne still on his farm. Gonna have to do something soon because Red is making moves around the map.
Ari has to be careful.
Red team has. He's trying to body slam in there, but he's gonna miss it. Red team has Nocturne's blue warded up. It's not. Don't think it'll be back for a while. There's gonna be a teleport down from Fiora, but it's gonna be a failed teleport. I don't think anything's gonna come from that. They're gonna try and take maybe Dragon off of this, or they're gonna try and do something. Nocturne's in the area.
I just want to add in, although they don't have vision of Nocturne's jungle, if someone's paying attention, his Q can be seen in the Fog of War, so he has to be careful of the usage of that, because it lets them know where he's roaming in the jungle.
Oh, that's unfortunate. A little bit of a Miscalculation on Gragas ER right there. Nice stun just
Nice
off the tip
fight
of
back.
that VFX.
Another teleport.
And I think Fiora's going to be safe here. Oh,
Malphite
maybe not.
has ult.
Nope, they're going to dive this. And she ulted to hit nothing. And Ahri also.
Trouble.
Oh, nice
Double
Malphite
ult.
ulti. Double Malphite ulti into the exhaust on Ahri. She will not be
Braum
doing
will be
damage.
going down.
So will Braum.
Very good map presence coming out from Pent Outrage. Really roaming the map pool, really working as a team.
E-Domination struggling a little bit in these early games, in the 2 games so far that we've seen from them. Don't know if they can make it out of groups if they lose this one. I think Pent Outrage does, if I'm not mistaken. And 11 minutes into the game, it's looking like a repeat of the last game. I mean, maybe not as hard, but it's a sizable lead building up right now. They've got 5k at 12 minutes or 11 minutes. And their Malphite is making beautiful plays. Dragon number 1 going down for free.
Doesn't seem like they're going to even try to contest.
Well, Fiora didn't have her teleport. She used it to try and gank when... I mean, if you're going to gank like that, you have to set it up with a Braum ultimate.
Fiora's
There's no other
going
way.
on.
Malphite in a little bit of trouble here. Does he have his ultimate? No, he doesn't.
She misses.
He doesn't have his flash either. Can he 1v1 the Fiora though? Oh, stop running in and out of the brush. Okay. I think somehow he lost her in that
Limping
vision.
away
Yeah.
from that battle.
Somehow he lost her, I think, through a Q and playing with the brush. Not too sure what happened there, but Fiora, I think, could have started basic attacking, but... Anyway. Raven.
I think Fiora maybe perhaps just was afraid a little bit of his damage. He didn't know what his equal down was and was worrisome of perhaps an E and a smack to the face with Undying Grasp was probably enough to kill her.
Maybe, yeah.
Raven's got quite a bit of AD now. You can see his spinning axes are doing quite a little bit of damage.
Very
Pretty
few
good.
stacks, actually, and we do have Trundle trying to force an engage. Yeah, very few stacks, but his farm's alright. Oh, nice ultimate coming out. Nocturne going to dive onto the back of Victor. Victor obviously putting down his WR combo, and Ahri is going to ult right on top of it and get stunned up. Now Nocturne is going to have to pay for it. Oh!
Perhaps.
Just got the heal from the dangerous game, but it's not going to save him after all. Ahri out of mana, out of dashes, but Gragas isn't out of dashes, and his auto attacks hurt. And in the bottom lane, more action. Draven's going to throw out the ultimate, and the stun up is going to come onto Trundle. The
There's
exhaust
also-
coming onto Caitlyn. This is actually going to be a legit 2v2. Draven can
Nice
finish this
E.
off. Oh, so close to the slow, and so close to securing a kill. I feel so bad for them. Oh, nice play. And no more jukes possible. That was a fun little chain of event, but overall, the blue team
Good.
coming on top of that.
Blue team having a good engage in the bot lane, very confident, very well executed. That Braum ult was perfect timing. That you saw that they were right in between the 2 rocks.
Yeah.
Very hard to avoid it when you're squishing like that.
Yeah.
That's perfect for Braum's timing.
It's funny because Trundle makes a wall, but that's not ideal if you're in the middle of a choke point like the Try in that area. Especially versus somebody like Draven Braum combination. That's just sets up an easy combination for their ultimates. Yeah, it's likely they need to continue laning. That's really where Caitlyn's strengths are anyway, is in an open lane.
And that's that Draven's cooldown hasn't been moving. Perhaps he forgot to level it, or it's bugged.
Might be a spectator issue. But he did definitely use it in that fight. Yeah, likely a spectator issue, but anyway. Blue buff
Going
donated
over
over
to
to Victor.
And it sort of interesting that Gragas is going for cloth armor rather than get a little bit of perhaps a spear visage or something like that. Maybe Dead Man's Plate coming out and he's building into another item as well, but doesn't seem that afraid of any of the magic damage that Ahri's going to dish out.
Yeah, so far there are 3 AD threats. I mean, technically really 2, but Nocturne can turn into a threat. Yeah, the early itemization seems to make decent sense. Also, you've got to be thinking jungle monsters deal physical damage. You want to come out healthier. Cloth armor is not really a terrible first buy, as a
Seems
early
straight.
buy rather for junglers.
So, Draven's ult is back up.
Yeah, that was likely a spectator issue. We
That
do
was
have
a good E by Braum,
Nocturne
bringing
coming
Nocturne.
in. but he's gonna get CC'd to death.
That's-
Shane CC'd the whole team.
That's what Nocturne has to be careful of. He can't be going in on a champion that has a dash up because they'll bring him right to his team.
Also, he had no vision. The entire team was right around him. They
That-
didn't even need dashes. Oh, beautiful
Good
bomb
ult.
ulti, but it's not gonna stop them.
That
Exhaust just to slow him down because they really want the kill.
Fior's teleporting in, perhaps.
Malphite ult for it. Malphite's gonna continue taking this. I'm not
Good
sure they
Draven
can
ult.
actually stay though. They might be able to re-engage with Gragas there. Yeah, just wait for Victor's W cooldown and Gragas can go in. They can do this. Or they're just gonna wait for the minion wave and take it safely. Either way, I mean,
Nocturne seems to be picking up a Hydra, which is pretty good. Will help when they're grouped up. He'll have a little bit of AoE. Gonna stack on top of his passive, which is very powerful.
he needs to survive right now, and he's not surviving.
Perhaps a Maw pickup would be optimal
But
for him.
better ultimates would also be a help to his survival. It's not just his stats. He ulted into a place where he didn't have clear vision.
And he just got brought on a one-way trip to the enemies.
Yeah, right. So it's important when you engage that you're not engaging into a bait, and
Right.
that's they. I think the red team didn't expect that to be a bait, but it turned into a bait essentially.
sure.
So yeah,
Mind you,
I-
Draven hasn't died yet. He has a lot of perhaps stat.
I
not-
think that's an issue as well. It's not reading the same amount of stacks.
Yeah, he must-
I think Draven is having some problems on Spectator.
As cashes in on the stacks, it can really snowball Draven ahead, and a head Draven is a very scary thing.
All the interior towers now knocked down though, and we have one, or rather exterior towers knocked down. One interior tower knocked down. Dragon will be coming up in 10 seconds. This time, decent vision from both teams. They actually have the objective warded out. And they have 2 entrances warded. That's good.
They have vision of Malphite.
Yeah.
However, they have to be careful. Caitlyn is closing in from the other side.
Is Nocturne going to go towards the dragon, or is he going to... Yeah, he's going to get distracted up in here by the Malphite. They're not going to take the dragon. And Malphite is going to ult in. Oh my gosh! Just destroy the Nocturne. Oh my god. Caitlyn and I
Has
think
that
Malphite...
IE.
Yeah, I think Caitlyn...
really starts spiking that damage real fast.
I think Caitlyn just crit him for a bunch of damage. And certainly, yeah, when you're building Devourer and a Vampiric Scepter one after another, you're not going to survive. Nice Pillar of Ice. That's
Braum
going to
flashing.
stop up. Yeah, Braum forced to flash.
See, what I think Nocturne has to do is he has to respect that when his spell shield is down, Malphite can engage at any time he wants. Malphite, when his ult is up, is a free engage machine.
Right now, it doesn't even seem to matter. We have
Nice
Gragas
flashy.
coming over, and he is knocking up Braum, using his ultimate to separate the team. Really just bringing them a little bit lower so that his team can take the tower for free. Now there's no contest. There's no chance to contest this.
You have to...
Oh, nope, no charm will land.
Caitlyn wisely backing off.
Malphite is healthy enough to, right after taking this, putting that damage on the mid tower to go back to his lane. No objective in the end for that one, but a lot of damage put on that mid tower.
Draven has his IE as well now. The 280C should be doing a lot of damage now.
This is not what you want to be doing as Nocturne 19 minutes into the game with 9 Devour stacks. You shouldn't be pushing your Fiora's lane with your Fiora. You should be taking literally any camp you can.
Malphite coming in.
And in Scuttles especially, because when you're losing and you're behind on vision, this is not looking very good. Malphite might be taken down here from 4 members, but the ultimate and the E auto attack. Gonna kill Nocturne. Finally,
Trundle
they're going to
perhaps
take
going
down
down
the
too?
raid boss Malphite. Trundle trying to save his friend, but gonna walk into some more ice of his own. Nice pillar, nice trap from
The
Caitlyn.
damage coming up from Draven.
Yeah, they're getting themselves in trouble here. The pillar is going to stop a little bit. Oh, nice from Victor. The ultimate and the zone going to be stunning up a few members, forcing Ari to dash away. All right. That was a little bit messy from Malphite, a little bit messy from Penta Outrage, but they pulled it back together there. with that nice choke point, nice Victor combo.
Very good Trundle Pillar. Really disrupted the whole movement of E domination there. Really
I mean, yeah, that stopped the chase.
Draven's really got to try to cash in on those stacks now. It'll really bring him ahead in power.
If he could get one of those, it might help a lot, because his damage wasn't bad in the last fight. He actually was doing some sizable amount on Caitlyn throughout the entire time, so...
They've just been smartly
Is
back.
there an engage here? Caitlyn's gonna trap up that entrance.
Make sure no.
With the plethora of traps you're allowed to put down now, there's so many fun combinations you can do, so many areas you can block off on the map now. Yeah, it looks like blue team was really distracted from this Caitlyn push, and look what's happening right now. Malphite and Gragas going to push up the top lane, and look at Caitlyn stopping her recall every few seconds. Yeah, that's them waiting for them to move back so they can continue pushing.
I just want to point out, Malphite built Iceborne Gauntlet with his W passive's bonus armor, and the armor he's already built. That field of slow is massive.
I wonder if he can make it as big as Trundle's W.
It seems like it's pretty close.
Fiora gonna do negative damage here. Probably just take a bunch of stat effects. A little bit of a duel, rock and sword.
He's gonna stand right up against that wall to prevent her from getting that last tick.
And the ultimate comes out.
Oh,
She had vision on Gragas coming, but
pillar.
she just wasn't paying attention to the
flash
minimap.
Q.
Yep. Nocturne gonna be taken out here shortly. Shield is not gonna help him.
Gets zapped by the Victor Laser.
And in the meantime, Draven and Braum are going to try and trade this inhibitor turret for the exterior turret. I'm not sure how much that's worth, though. They're going to lose an inhibitor for this. Meanwhile, they could have been there to clear, because Draven's ultimate is a decent amount of clear, considering this team comp.
Seems like Penta Outrage is going to move up, try to get the top tower, start opening up the inhibitors.
Yep. This is just really surgical from Penta Outrage. They just... Alright, one part of the map is a little bit stronger. Time to take that part down and move on to the next. And
Slowly going to whittle them down.
blue team reacting really slowly, not pushing other waves while reacting to the siege. They have the tools to do it. They're just not. They're acting a little bit,
Scared.
yeah, maybe scared right now.
They're really respecting the Malphite ult, but they have to realize when it's down, that's their opportunities to engage. It might be perhaps a little too late now, but that's what should have happened earlier.
Blue team painting out Baron. I don't know if you want to do that, guys. I don't know if Baron versus the Malphite Gragas Victor is going to be the answer to your woes. But I kind of hope they do, just because it'd really be fun to see that wombo.
Yora's going to take all the straps, just remove them.
I don't think Flarehood has gotten to his Devourer yet. I don't think he's got it sated yet.
They've been really constricting off that jungle, not letting Flarehood really have an opportunity to get the stacks up.
He's also been, I mean, he had camps up when they were safe to take, and he was pushing lanes. He's not playing towards his builds and character strength right now. He's kind of thinking about the game outside of his character.
He has 15 stacks.
All right,
with
so we
that
do
guy.
have the Pillar of Ice coming up. It's not going to stop up anybody though. But meanwhile,
Malphite's
split pushing in the mid lane, and guess what that means for the red team outside of that? That's a huge slow zone.
Yeah.
So look at this. This is a problem. You cannot have 4 people answer to a single split pusher when
Especially when he's just going to walk away.
Not just that, when you know that there's a neutral objective somewhere else on the map that's spawning. Everybody has the dragon timers now. There's no excuse, and in the meantime, they could have pushed 2 other lanes and just clear that one lane with 2 players. But all 4 players walk to the top lane, and now look what happens mid and bottom. Now they're both pushed in, and they miss dragon. So, not doing themselves any favors by not splitting up properly and not coming together when it's proper as well.
Another
Nice flash
flashy.
E from Gragas. It's not gonna matter. Kaelin's gonna
Almost like a
rip up
Grax
that.
attack there.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful Malphite ulti. 3-man combo.
Braum
The
try
Braum
to disengage, but by then it's too late.
Yeah, Braum ult not gonna do much. The red team just devouring the blue team right now. Penta Outrage. No Pentas this game. None required. Caitlyn deals so much damage.
Caitlyn, very powerful zoning.
If you look at the scoreboard, though, it's kind of funny. Her support has a better KDA than she does. All right, that was an incredibly surgical game. I think this is obviously going to be the closing out of the game by Penta Outrage.
Gragas just eating those Qs for free.
Very well played, super well played. Once again, really punishing jungler's decision making, especially his engages, which we saw from Flarehood. I mean, he's going to have to improve on that. When to engage as a skill, I mean, because going in without vision, these kinds of mistakes you can't make against some players who are Diamond, Platinum, Challenger.
They abuse.
They're very experienced, and they're not going to let themselves make those mistakes. So if you do, they're going to punish you for them, and you won't be able to punish them because they're not making them. Oh, finally a shutdown though, just to close out the game.
As the Nexus falls for the blue team.
And GG, Penta Outrage taking the win very convincingly, 26 minutes. About 9 minutes longer than the last one, but just as convincing, I think.